I'm John, 29 years of age, and I'm working with a reputable company. I have been in a distant relationship with a former schoolmate for 2 years now. She's down to earth, and I'm seriously considering marrying her. She's unemployed at the moment, but I'm not bothered about it because I've been supporting her to the best of my ability. We plan that she will visit me this August. The issue here is that I am uncircumcised and she doesn't know about it. We live in a society where uncircumcised men are not considered real men, and in some jurisdictions, it is regarded as a taboo for a lady to get intimate with an uncircumcised man. My worry is, how do I propose marriage to her while convincing her that uncircumcised men are not different from circumcised ones? Please help me out.
Yeah, okay, very interesting and a precarious situation for you to find yourself in, I must say. I mean, if there's anything I know, in school, I even remember some male colleagues teasing other male colleagues of being uncircumcised and that kind of thing. It seems to be prevalent in the Ghanaian society.
Sure.
Let me come straight to George. I think this is right up your alley. How big of a deal is it?
It's interesting because I listened to the guy's name. He's called John, suggesting he's Christian. And the Christian faith really, I think, is more inclined towards circumcision than uncircumcision. So I wouldn't use religion. Some other religions may be more inclined to be uncircumcised. So once his name is John, I strike religion off. So religion is not a reason why he can't be uncircumcised. This is just like the first issue. I think it's about compromise. You love this lady. You intend to propose to her. She means the world to you, clearly. I think that he should make the approach, make the proposal, and then be open to her about it, and say, this is the package. Okay, it's an uncircumcised package, and this is what it is, and hear her out. If she insists and says, look, I think I would prefer someone who's circumcised, it comes down to compromise. As a man, he can still get circumcised. Just it's going to be a bit painful.
Traumatic.
It's going to be painful at this point in time, because he's grown. He's in his late 20s. But bottom line here is about compromise. It's either the lady is willing to change, soften her stance, and go with a man who is uncircumcised, or he would have to bite the bullet and get circumcised. But bottom line is, he needs to have a conversation. One thing about the union called marriage is conversation and communication is everything. Open up to the lady and let her know what it is. If she's got any issues, she's going to raise them. And when she raises them, you can work around them before you tie the knot. There's signs that says circumcision is better, it's healthier. There's some that says it really doesn't matter. So ultimately, when you look at the medical science of it, it really isn't what you can stand on to make a case.
Right.
What will decide this is how strong is the love you have for each other. Okay. People, look, I'll use myself as an example. I used to like to grow my hair.
Okay.
On my head, not my pubes.
Okay. Thanks for the clarification.
But I used to like to grow my hair, and I got married. My wife is, in fact, when I was in the university, I braided my hair at a point in time.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, but I mean, my wife is someone I met, and she liked me clean cut, low, almost like a military crew cut. So I had to let go of all of that, and today I'm always keeping it clean cut. Over the past few weeks, I've tried to surreptitiously grow the hair again. And then she comes to me and says, hey,
your hair's growing.
Your hair's growing again. In fact, I went to the barbers and came back. And I said, I'm just coming from the barbers. And she said, no, you didn't go to the barbers. I said, I am. And she says, no, they have to go back. It's what I want, but that's what's going to make my partner happy. I've decided, okay, fine, I'm going to keep it as low as she wants it. So ultimately, it's about conversation. It's about communication. He should talk to the lady, tell her this is his full package. Right. Where the issues will come up is when he hides it from her. Especially, I think in the message, he says she's giving an indication on her position on circumcision. If you hide it from her and get married to her, you build a marriage on the basis of deception. You're hiding something from her. She's not going to know what to trust you on. So come out clean, tell her this is what it is, explain what your fears are to her. Who knows? She may agree. If she doesn't agree, then you have a good chance of getting some good TLC when you go and get the thing cut. For like a week or two, she's going to feel bad and give you good TLC, you know. Yeah. So.
All right, Rosina, let me come to you. I don't know what you think about this. Is this circumcision matter really such a big deal for Ghanaian women?
Like you rightly said, most of the time when we're in school, even insulting you as being uncircumcised, like telling somebody the person's uncircumcised is actually an insult. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So even though the person's not really circumcised, it's circumcised. When you want to insult the person, you can say that, oh, look at you, you are uncircumcised, whatever. You understand? So it's a big deal. And I think I don't think it's Christian. I think it's religious, because circumcision predates Christianity. I mean, in the Jewish area before the birth of Christ and all of that, I mean, circumcision was a norm, and there was a science behind it. In that, on the 7th day of something, some see it as a sacrifice, some see it as medically, some see it as a point in time when you bleed less. That's a 7-day, period. And I mean, there are all kinds of religious and superstitious things around it. And some of these things, like I said, they are handed down from generation to generation. So we do it without even knowing why we are doing it. We do it without really knowing whether it's okay not to do it. And if the person is a typical Ghanaian, never been traveled, has never encountered an uncircumcised male before, has never read about it, knows nothing about it, she's definitely gonna, even if you mention it to her, that, oh, do you know, I'm this, I'm that, her response is going to discourage you, straight up. So I think what you should do is to bring up the subject in conversation. Not necessarily as, oh, I am uncircumcised, because you don't want a situation where, my way, hey, he's this or he's that, we're broadcasting your wahala all over the place. However, find a way of bringing up people who are uncircumcised in a conversation and see her thoughts on it. If possible, get her to read on it and, show her a few images, how to manage it, how to keep it clean. Because another concern is that people who are uncircumcised, it's very difficult to keep the place clean. Sometimes they are gems trapped in there and all of that. But I know Africans who have traveled and are married to uncircumcised men because they were exposed, and wherever they were, probably in the vicinity in which they were, they found out that it was probably very normal. I'm sure they dated somebody the first time, they're kind of like, oh, what is this? And then they speak to someone, it's like, oh, it's pretty normal around here. I mean, maybe 60% of our population is not circumcised. Like, oh my God, so there's nothing wrong with it. And as time goes on, you have a social change of mind.
Right.
But definitely don't lure her into marriage without her knowing, because the shock of having to see that without being prepared, it will send all kinds of signals: betrayal, entrapment, entanglement, entrapment, deceit, false pretense. Like, all manner of emotions are going to fly through her head if you surprise her with it. And please, between now and August, you have time to probably bring up something, some form of article, some form of discussion about, stuff like that. And just test her pulse or try to let her understand. Now, if you feel like she's so not into it, like there's no way she's going over, for her it's a religious thing, then you make a decision. What means more to you? Would you want to forgo her as a partner, or you want to go through that experience of getting circumcised? Because you can get circumcised at any time. It's not a big deal. It's something they do all the time. I don't think it has any serious health consequences. It's just that you're going to be in pain for a while, and because you are old, you're going to remember that pain for some time. But other than that, it's not going to affect how it performs or anything. So it's two things. If you try to find out her thoughts, how she thinks, and you realize that, Charlie, the girl is not going to bend over, then you decide, is she somebody you truly, really want to be with? If that's the case, you can silently go and do it. She probably would never know. Or you could tell her that, well, this is the case, but because I love you so much, I'd want to do something like this for you because X, Y, Z. Or, I don't know. Those are the only two options. But definitely don't surprise her with it. Don't invite her over even in August and just throw it like, ta-da, what do you think? No, that's a bad idea. So I'm just saying that, look, some of these things, they are just entrenched. Perception, superstition, belief, all of that. So it's a bit difficult to move people, but with time, some people have accommodated it. I mean, she could probably accommodate it, but if she doesn't, then make that decision for yourself.
All right, Olivia, you have the final word on this one. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. You know what made me laugh a bit? When Rosie was talking about circumcision, and then she goes like, well, you can do it. It's not a big deal. I'm imagining what other men are thinking that
it is a big deal. Yeah, it is a big deal.
Why holding on and they're saying that, Charlie, a knife down there, or I don't know, one dump something down there, Charlie, nah, sorry. But yeah, I mean, everybody has said it. However you want to tell her, via conversation, via, articles, whatever. Charlie, man's got to do what a man's got to do. You have to tell her. Because, Charlie, when it comes to love making and sex, look at somebody's submission about wanting his wife to be hairy downstairs. That cries a matter. It's not like she has gone through some female, genital mutilation or something. The man just wants to play bushy, and that alone cries an issue. So sex is funny. Intimacy is funny. There are things that take people on, turn people on and take them off. So I believe marriage too is a very important step. So you can't get into marriage without your partner knowing everything intimately about you. Yeah. And for yourself as a man, I don't know what your confidence level is like, because I'm sure this thing is like, it's really bugging you. Like the sisters were saying, sometimes they will tease you and say, they would even insult you and say, oh, look at that uncircumcised person. But it also boils down to you and what decision you are ready to make. However you want to look at it. Today, if you end up telling this girl, right, and the girl says, okay, she doesn't mind. She would want to marry you irrespective of, the fact that you're uncircumcised. So assuming she says yes, she marries you, and then after a couple of tries, she's like, nah, Charlie, you need to get circumcised. What are you going to do? Like, would you want to end up being circumcised? It all boils down to you and how you feel as an individual, your sexuality, what you're confident in, how you put yourself across. Because you could still be uncircumcised and you could still have a perfect, intimate life if you keep yourself clean, obviously, because at this rate, you can't be wearing the same boxer shorts for 2 months or something. You definitely don't want to be doing that. So, however you want to look at it, at some point in time, a decision will have to be made, and you would have to make that decision. Right. And like I said, Rosie was saying, and I was saying about, you having to finally go through circumcision. Yes, it hurts. It hurts badly. My Mozambican friend, I remember in London, we used to work in the call center together. And then he missed a few days, I think about a week or something. And then he comes back and I'm like, yo, Charlie, what's up? I haven't seen you in a long time. It's like, Olivia, man, you don't know what I had to go through. He had to go through circumcision. And he did it there in London. But I'm sure in Ghana, the hospitals, you need to do the research, find for your own self. But basically what he told me was that he couldn't watch any films that had kissing in there, anything that would arouse him after his circumcision. Crazy. Because then he would bleed and stuff. So it's a whole ordeal. But having said that, today he's married, he's very happy, and he's confident in himself. So I think that if you feel that this thing is going to be coming up, assuming the girl says no and it's a big deal to her and she doesn't want to be in your in the relationship with you, it means that this topic will have to come up again in the next relationship. So it all boils down to you and what you want as an individual and what the other person also wants, and whether you're ready to go through the cycle over and over and over again. So please do make that decision. It's going to be hard, but by all means, first things first, speak to this girl, find out where she's at. If she likes it, good. If she doesn't like it, you just move on and go on with your life. But one step at a time. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Don't worry.
Okay. Well, yeah, I agree. I mean, your options are pretty much laid out for you. Tell her. If she doesn't want it or doesn't like it, what are you going to do?
Cut it.
Cut it or not? We wish you the best of luck. Felix has a message on this, says, is there a reason why you haven't had the foreskin removed? If you have no good reason and want it removed, so you can conform to the society, that's fine. Go ahead. Judith says, I think you should go and do it. I know someone who did it as an adult. Becky says, please tell her ASAP, if she really loves you, she'll stay with you. But if you don't tell her and she finds out herself after getting married, my brother, you'll see hell. Nana Kweku says, as for this, I'm not sure I can say anything about it. Whether circumcised or not is a matter of opinion. You may have to find out from your lady before you decide to propose. Ikuya says, you being uncircumcised doesn't mean you're impotent. Thank you very much. AC says, hey, 21st century, pa, boss, this one there, go do 'em. Mama V says, oh, boss, how can you date someone for 2 years and keep such important information from her? Tell her before she comes through. Ali says, my brother, take 2 weeks leave off work and go to the hospital and do it sharp. It doesn't take more than a week to heal. Elikem says, what's your reason for being uncircumcised? Is it a medical condition or because of your beliefs? If not because of any of these reasons, then Massa, go get it done immediately. Kofi says, if you think she won't accept your proposal, then go to a clinic and get circumcised. It doesn't take long for the wound to heal. Just 2 weeks pay. Some men are talking from experience. Na says, telling her won't be a bad thing to do. If she loves you, she'll support you. And finally, Elena says, just do it, eh? Or you like your own thing like that, eh? But find out her opinion about uncircumcised men. Don't let her know it's you, mom. Then you can make your decision. Simple.